Is this mic on? 1 2 1 2. Mic check. Yes, we're live at the shop. We're doing this. What up, Blazer? Chiro sounds. How do I sound? Mic check. 1 2 1 2. Hillbilly Herb brought the packs. Pack them up, light them up, snap them. You snap bowls, Hillbilly? You seem like a snapper to me. Hello, Sharon. Roger brought some beers, I believe. I think Roger has the Yeti cooler. All loud and clear, says Sharon. Right on. Let's see. Can we send some love out to everyone? Boom. How about that? Some Wednesday hearts. And speaking of love, yesterday, Taco Tuesday. Anyone have tacos out there yesterday? I did on Monday. Any day is a good day to have a taco. But you know, people rage on Tuesdays, Thursdays. Someone yesterday, we had some customers come by the shop. And they pulled up in a white van. But it wasn't one of those creepy ones. It was actually a decent white van. And we had some conversation, and the white van came up, and I was like, what are you guys moving in that white van? And a few jokes went back and forth, but then they were like, we're moving tortillas, Holmes. I was like, oh, all right, cool. Whatever you got to do your thing. And it was two guys. He told his partner, hey, go get homeboy a couple of packs. Get him one corn, one flour. And I was like, oh, they're really moving tortillas here in this white van. And so check it out. Yeah. They brought BD some tortillas. And yeah, it's probably, GMO corn and all that. Flour's not good for you. But hey, when you're running low on supplies and someone blesses you with one of the greatest gifts on the planet being the tortilla, oh man, what a blessing. So much love to them. And yeah, we blessed them up. What else? We had Jeff, our good friend, Jeff Abilar. You'll see him in the chat sometimes. Is Jeff up in the chat? Big thank you to Jeff for stopping by the shop here, Sky's the Limit Smoke Shop. And let's set these tortillas down. Yeah. Now we need some fish or something, some potatoes. You can make all types of tacos. What up, David? And there's nothing like making tacos in the woods, let me tell you. Monisha, what up? Cheers. Ching, ching. So the last stream, yeah, we had a crashing incident. Also trying to pull up the Google map. We're going to give it a shot again because I'm still on this whole, these drownings, weird drownings and stuff. We'll get into that in a little bit. There are some big Bigfoot reports, new Bigfoot reports submitted to some of the sites we've been peeping out. So maybe we'll take a look at that. We're just basically hanging out here, vibing out. No hostages being held. Y'all come in and out as you please. Bro's hanging out. Actually, he was cleaning up over at the asylum. Yeah, he's cleaning up the asylum. Little rough duty there. Hopefully it wasn't too bad. So he's got my back here for a little bit, but he'll probably be stepping out again. And that means we are on duty. So we'll be having customers in and out. And I think I got a little something. Maybe I got some video clips that we could play if we do have some customer action. just keep y'all entertained. Yeah, we entertain a little bit here. We like to educate as well, learn from one another. Each one teach one. You know what I mean? Yeah, so Wednesday, it's been looking murky out there. We've been having some warm days getting into summer, but then it got all murked out. And I've been hearing about the weather and the storms going across the mid part of the country. So prayers for all those folks out there. And yeah, we got a little sprinkle, tiny little sprinkle yesterday. So yeah, I'm always keeping an eye out for the skies. And yeah, I had some flyovers. We had Monday off. Actually took Monday off. Didn't even go live then. I should have. But there was just a whole lot happening that just didn't make it possible. I was just like, all right, let's switch gears. So I was chilling at the crib or at the pad. What do you like to call it? The spread, the hut. And was hearing the choppers, military choppers. So yeah, we get them going by even the house. So I think when they fly over the house, they're headed over towards the shop. And I noticed one did go in a different direction this time. And yeah, I took a little recording and did spot the fast movers. Yeah, they're zipping around there too. I'd shared in the posts some of the timestamps, used some red circles because that's always fun using red arrows and circles. I see some people using some yellow arrows out there too, which is cool. Nothing wrong with that. Helping people see the objects we're trying to point out. Some people talk down on the red circles and arrows. It's all good. I think right now, even for thumbnails, the red arrows and circles are a big one, you know? It's that eye catcher. And there's Shelly Montgomery. Welcome on in. What are we chiefing on here, Hillbilly? Let's see. Hot there. Hot AF. We could do hot as, yeah. Up north, huh? 64, Coos Bay. Yay. Yeah, probably never gets past the high 90s there on the coast, huh? You know, the eaglets here, the local Big Bear eaglets, I heard are starting to, I don't know if they took flight already, but, you know, they're out there stretching their wings and doing their thing. So we could take a peek at them, see how things are going. Maybe they'll take flight on us while we're checking it out. And we'll try and take a look at the rest of the Southland, and we'll head north from there on the Pacific coast, depending on how the captain of this ship navigates this stream here. All right. And I'm also DJing at the same time, making sure we get some sounds continue to flow in the background. So I'm like rewinding the track here. It says I got it on loop, but I don't know. I'm afraid they might throw a little commercial up in there. What else is popping out there? A whole lot. Whole lot. It's crazy. We'll see what we'll tap on today. And here's it's hit the nest. We're talking about different terms we use for the house, the pad, the lily pad, the crib. Right now we're hitting the nest here with a beautiful view of Big Bear Lake. And I only see one of the eaglets, so the other one might have took flight. Maybe we're gonna go grab a snack. I seen yesterday Mom and Pops think we're hanging. I think it might have been just Mom was hanging out, but Pops or something went to go grab some lunch. They brought some fish back. Fresh fish, sashimi. And then the name of the brother and sister, or are they brother and sister or both brothers? I forget, but it's Gizmo, and I forget the other one. Almost got like these little cholo names. But one usually stays at the nest. I seen another one won't be around, so maybe it is flying around, and it's super cool to see. 2 of the 3. We lost one earlier in the season, but 2 of the 3 are doing pretty well here. And what's up, Amanda? It was cool hanging out with you earlier. And there's Scott. What up, Scott? Fish tacos up in the nest next. Yeah. So yeah, the series of drown it's a trip. So we had this incident up in Northern California, Eureka, California, where some drinks at a particular bar seemed to have been tampered with, and some people ingested those drinks and weren't feeling too well. We shared the article, and that got me down the whole rabbit hole of the missing 411, the sobering coincidence tentacle of the missing 411 phenomenon. Because, you know, the way I look at it, there's many tentacles. People bring up, is it Bigfoot taking all these people? And I don't think it's always Bigfoot. I don't think Bigfoot's pulling up at bars and taking people and then somehow leaving them in the water. And then there's the different incidences happening in the air, you know, weird plane disappearances like in the Bermuda Triangle and stuff, and other places like the Alaskan Triangle, these different triangles, Nevada Triangle, name the triangle, and you probably got some weird air phenomenon going down there. But the cases with the bars, and some of you may be hip to the hop and know what we're talking about here, but just to kind of recap on what we're talking about here, maybe give some people a heads up on what we're talking about. We'll say goodbye to, I wonder who that is. Is that Gizmo chilling? We'll say goodbye to Gizmo right now. Maybe tap back in a little bit. Let's see here. Could we pull up? So there is a book, actually a couple of books out on this stuff. And one of them is by David Paulides, and you could purchase, actually, I have this book, and we were touching on some of the cases, newer cases. And as I was going down this rabbit hole, I was going to do this weekend, tap in on all this again after that crash of the stream. But I got some other information, and it was like updates on some cases pertaining to this phenomenon here. And one of them being the Brian Schaefer case out of the Ugly Tuna Saluna. Was it it's out of Ohio somewhere. That one made the rounds. You know, a lot of YouTube channels covered it, made it seem it was very mysterious. And a YouTube channel, smaller YouTube channel, recently did put out a video on that particular case about 2 months ago. And that came into my feed just yesterday, as well as some other things we'll touch on here. So yeah, Brian Schaefer, some updates on his case, and his was like, it just seemed to be very mysterious because it seemed like he somehow went missing out of the bar without CCTV, like cameras, recording how he got out of the bar there. And so many people were confused and all these things, but this little YouTube channel just went in recently and brought up all types of other information pertaining to that case, which made me think and feel that it's not so mysterious now that it might be more like possibly voluntary or maybe even criminal, because there has been some activity. So you might want to check that out. Maybe we'll show that channel here. I'll have to go into my history and pull that up, but I'll definitely share that in the post. So a little update there. And then what else? There's several other cases that were featured yesterday that were on, I would say, the criminal type, but a lot of missing persons, hikers going missing, and stuff like that happening lately. And then I guess we have some of these weird drownings. So we'll take a look here. And yeah, for more information, maybe check out this book. You could, I don't know if you have to purchase it. There's a lot of channels that have covered it. And yeah, is this happening in your town? Has it happened in your town? Has it happened somewhere near you? Do you know about this type of stuff? And of course, the Lisa Lam case comes up, which is the weird case, Alyssa Lam, the weird case out of the Cecil Hotel, where the young lady from out of town was found in the water tanks up above. Another big case, paranormal type case, and I do think there was some strange stuff happening there, and we've talked about that before. What was I going to say? So yeah, that happened here. Cecil's not too far from the shop here, so it has happened here, and there are some other so-called cases that have been brought up, but didn't hit like a mainstream internet news, I guess you could say, or just it wasn't covered by many. And I'll have to find those again and bring them up, and so we could, look at them, try and go in deeper on them, see if they are really mysterious or not. Another channel we've been bringing up is Smoochy, what's up? What is it? Missing Enigma on YouTube, who's been going in deep on a lot of cases that, again, we thought were very like weird, paranormal, maybe even. And a couple of them out of California he's covered, and he did boots on the ground at the location, which is always, I like that type of stuff. Yeah, like the Yuba 5 case he just recently covered, and that also had some more information brought up that wasn't brought up before, and it points to more possible criminal. But even with the criminal cases, I think there could be paranormal stuff involved. People I believe are, we're some of us believe souls in a vessel. And I believe that this vessel can be possessed by other entities, being spirits, go on and on, And so when we hear people doing certain things or acting certain ways, it could be these things. I keep that in mind, and I look at life in that way. So sometimes we're looking for monsters and creatures out in the world, in the woods or different places where they're known to be, and really they're right outside the door. All types of stuff happening here in the Southland. We've been covering a lot of wild activity and all having to do with people. But I think on another level, spiritual level or whatever, there's other things going on, with the other, again, entities, beings, and stuff like that. So let's see here. We'll tap in on the recent cases here in Eureka. We'll pull that article up again really quick. And again, it was a pretty long article, so I won't go through it all. And there we got Redheaded Black Belt with the article. And this was on Sunday, the 25th of May, when this was posted. And I did read the article. Pretty gnarly, to have your drink spiked. Totally not cool. And they explained some of the what do you call it? The symptoms
And one young lady was talking about not feeling good, going in between some cars, like blacking out and taking her shoes off as well, which is one of those things that come up in the missing 411 phenomenon, that a lot of times people are found without their shoes or missing a shoe, barefoot, and it makes you wonder. Also, we talked about recently the feet washing up on shore up in what is it, the Salish up in BC, but that some of those feet have been found as far down as Eureka, California. I was trying to find those cases, but couldn't quite find them. But it was Politis that had mentioned that, and I don't doubt it. So this area of California, Eureka, California, there's a couple of bays. You got the Arcata Bay, Eureka Bay. So plenty of water sources. And of course, you have the beaches all along the coast there. And there's other sorts of, like, there's a couple of lagoons further up from Arcata. There's different water sources in the area. And I'm sure within the forest too, there might be some ponds or, different things that may hold water. And so I was just kind of poking around the Eureka Bay, because I remember hearing about some cases in the past and even one recently. And so I was thinking to myself, I wonder if if there's been more of these drownings, and it's not having to do with this 411 stuff. It was just drownings. We don't know if they were criminal, if they were accidental or voluntary. But I was like, let me see. As we're buffering. Are we back? Back. Yeah, I did find several articles out of the local area there. And I want to see really quick. Let's see if I could do this time without crashing. All right. So we're going to try and pull up this map. And if we crash, and we'll try again later. So here we go. Give y'all an idea of the area we're talking about here. So towards the left, you see the coast. And there's a few water sources. You see Trinidad, town of Trinidad there. Had my second Bigfoot sighting there. And if you keep cruising on down, you get the Eureka Bay. And then up above, there's the Arcata Bay with a couple cases too that did make the 411 list. And sorry, we got a couple customers in here just eyeing everything out. Bros right here taking care of that. So thank goodness we ain't got to pause. And actually at the top right corner, we're able to squeeze Mount Shasta up in there. See that little white mountain, that point there? Some of you are very familiar with these areas, and some of you may not have any idea about these parts of Northern California. But yeah, there's a Willow Creek in the mix there. Hoopa, you can see the Hoopa Valley. Six Rivers National Forest, Shasta Trinity National Forest there. Redwood National and State Parks up along the coast there. So Bigfoot country, believe me. And with that, usually Bigfoot is our main topic here. We love getting it to Bigfoot, and we possibly might here in a little bit. But yeah, let's talk about Eureka, California, biggest city in Humboldt County. And that's where you'll find your Costco and Walmart and the whole thing, you know. Interesting little town. Some people hate it. And yeah, would go there for our, you know, big supplies, whatever we needed. And along the coast, you have Old Town Eureka as well. So for all you people into the old world or Tartaria, excellent place to find a lot of old world structures, a lot of Victorian stuff. And yeah, the bay, boom. So bros out of here. We're on our own. um the bay has a lot of history too, a lot of nautical history. I hear it gets gnarly sometimes. There's been a lot of you know, capsizings and stuff like that. Even up in Trinidad, California has its history. And I remember there they have a plaque with all the names of people that have been lost out at sea and stuff like that. It's a lot of history there. And but yeah, Eureka, Old Town, even Eureka, right near the bay. A lot of bars. There's a lot of bars actually coming up. Nah, bro, you can leave it open. Bro's asking me if he wants me to lock the door, which might be a good idea, but I told him to leave it open. We'll see who pops in. A lot of bars, you know, a lot of breweries and stuff too. Humboldt is known for their breweries as well as other things. And there's Juanito. I see you in the chat. John P, what up? And so yeah, you know, people like to get their drink on. People like their drinks up there. And there's a lot of cool spots to have drinks up in Old Town Eureka or just along the water there that I could think of off the bat. There's what's the sushi place? Maybe some locals are up in here and can help me out. And then what is it? Woodley Island. Woodley Island. There's usually I get fish and chips there. You get your beer battered halibut and actually have a view of the bay and all the boats there. And you could actually see, I think, even the courthouse, Eureka Courthouse from Woodley Island. And I could name a bunch of other places. Let's see. There's we were mentioning the Eagle House. That's right on the bay there too. The Eagle House having some paranormal activity. There's Gallagher's pub right at the bottom of the Eagle House there. That's all along the bay too. You just walk down the street and there's the bay there. What else? Lost Coast Brewery, not far there. So you get Highway 101 going up there, and the water's just off to the left there. And on certain parts of the highway too, there's you could actually see the bay and all that when you're headed from Eureka to Arcata. And yeah, what up, Pancho? You love your halibut? Yeah, would love to fish me some halibut. And yeah, Juanito, sounds like your kind of place. Exactly, bro. You'd have a lot of fun there. And even going all the way up to Arcata, the plaza, there's, you know, it used to be, they shut down a lot of bars there. And look, we got effects. Some little party confetti there. Yeah, we could make it happen now. I look for the juggalos. Figured it out. There's a few things with the camera I had to do, and yeah, that's some of the stuff I was doing along with downloading a bunch of music. I gave people a warning about DJ Qbert and the free music you're able to get on his website. Spent quite a bit of time this weekend downloading a bunch of music. So yeah, I was keeping busy even though I wasn't live. So yeah, the Eureka Bay, I was able to pull up several incidences where people have ended up in the water there. And we'll have a look at that. I want to make sure, let's see if there's anything else I want to tap on. And yeah, have a look at that map. There's a lot of interesting areas there, a lot of Bigfoot history all over this place here, even along the coast. Let's see where we're going next here. For those that don't know, the Alyssa Lamb case I was mentioning here nearby, actually, look, People Magazine did a recent, I think it's of this year. Let's see, do I see a date here? Yeah, February 19th of this year, they dropped this article. Alyssa Lamb's body was found in the infamous Cecil Hotel 13 years. I can't believe that was 13 years ago already. Wow. The TV is a little loud there too. If I get a chance, I'll turn it down. Where's my control? And we take these topics very serious, even though we bring up, may bring up a joke here and there. Chat might be chopping it up about different things, but we respect all the families and victims and people in these situations. We all go through stuff, and so much love to everybody out there. Inside the mysterious circumstances around her death and what police really think happened. So you could check that out. And just like other cases I was mentioning earlier, just like the retouching on these, a lot of cold cases being solved also here in California. I've heard of a couple of them out of Northern California. And if I remember some of the missing person cases that have, and I'm talking in the last day or so, that certain channels have been touching on. I know the Oregonian just touched on one of a little boy. We touched on several. I think it was 3 little boys out of Oregon. And those were kind of weird, where they left home and 2 of them ended up, what was it? Maybe all 3 were not good endings. One of them might have been, but we heard the Arizona where the dog found the boy. That was a good one. There's been a few good ones. But yeah, this particular one, the Oregon boy, and that one's been like 15 years already. Also, usually if you look up missing boys, Oregon, that case will come up. His name doesn't come to mind, but it seems to be criminal to me. I don't know. I could be wrong, but anyway, a lot of cases resurfacing now. And we mentioned Brian Schaefer one there too. So we'll remember to touch on that. Also, a big thank you to Jeff Yarrington for reaching out. I sent you an email and we got in touch. So sounds like we might be linking up at some point, maybe doing a little chatting. And over with Paranormal Paul as well. Surprise, surprise. So we'll be rocking with him on Monday, sounds like. So give me a second here. I got some customers. I'm going to pull up. Maybe we'll do the Eagle Cam right quick. Maybe I got something else. Let's see. Oh, damn. Nope. That's not going to work. Let's pull up Eagle Cam. Or maybe this is going to work. There we go. Can we play this? Dang it.